if you check her gold medal winning streak in the National Sports Festival in 2006, after 2006, 2009, you see the gap. Now, after 2009, 2018, you see the gap. After 2018, 2020, after 2020, 2022. So you see that gap. That gap in between had been the time she has been having injuries, which could affect her mentally and physically. So if she had if she had been physically fit all this while, as you train, you improve daily, I think she would have won a gold medal or a silver medal in the All African Games, because of the competitiveness of the All African Games. Because you can't compare both. You have people, you have judokas coming from Egypt, Tunisia, South Africa, and most of these people, some of them train overseas. So you see the stiff competition in the All African Game as you compare it to the National Sports Festival. So it is not just like, according to Goodluck Jonathan, say sports is the only area of sector of the economy that there is no mago. If you don't know it, you don't know it. Some people will say Maradona he took drugs. I say you that doesn't know how to play football, go and take drugs and see if you can play. You cannot. So I think she's a master or a mistress in what she does. Let's give kudos to her.
Of course, we have to give kudos to Franca Odo, putting up some impressive performance, at the National Sports Festival. She has really dominated the sports. In 2004, she won a silver medal at the National Sports Festival in Abuja in the 48 kg category. In 2006, she won a gold medal at the National Sports Festival in Ogun State in the 48 kg category as well. And in 2009, she also won a gold medal at the National Sports Festival in Kaduna State in the 52 kg. 2018, she won a gold medal at the National Sports Festival in Abuja. It actually took her a very long time, to make a return. From 2009, it took her so many years before she came back in 2018. The reason for that absence?
Like I said, from one of the documentaries I read about her, they say she has been consistently having injuries. So, and injuries is what every athlete don't pray for. Some athletes go when they have injuries, it takes some time. Some don't even come back. A very fine athlete, after having a good performance, within a short while, the athlete fizzles away. Injury is one thing, and when the injury has to do with knee, it becomes difficult. And some of these athletes, when they have these injuries, they want to come back immediately. They wouldn't allow the injury to heal completely. And when you don't allow the injury to heal completely, you come back to participate. You end up either not giving your best or getting injured along the line again. So I believe injury has been one of the major things that has really affected her. But her professionalism and her persistence and endurance has also played a key role in ensuring that she achieved that much as compared to what other athletes has achieved in the game of judo in Nigeria.
We're talking about injury. Well, of course, when we started, we were meant to understand that judo is not really is a gentle sport. But why the injuries? For Franca Odo.
Yes, when you say gentle sports doesn't mean that there's no contact. Somebody can get injured while sitting at home. While even doing menial jobs at home, somebody can get injured. Even at the kitchen, somebody can get injury. Can come anywhere. I can be walking on the road. You are not having any physical combat with anybody, and you have injury. No, one thing also is that some athletes are prone to injury. That judo is a gentle sport without much physical. Doesn't mean that people don't get injured. They still use part of their body to carry out the sports. So injury is something that cannot be.
You cannot avoid.
You cannot avoid it in any sports. So far as there is physical contact.
All right. Also in 2020, she won a gold medal as well at the National Sports Festival in Edo State, and in 2022, she also won a gold medal at the National Sports Festival in Delta state. Franca Odu, of course, she has been very impressive. You know, it has to do with the National Sports Festival. But you know, apart from the fact that you know we sport journalists, of course, we try most kind to dig deep into the life of this athlete, especially a judoka. You know, as Franca Odu, we don't really hear much praise. You know, about them. Take a look at someone that has won about 5 gold medals at the National Sport Festival. Is it that we don't really value our own? Is it that we don't really put much praise or glorify, you know, this people?
I think we, as a country, we need to do a lot that it has to do with publicity of our sports. Sports generally is something that unifies people. If you go to Europe, America, it's a different ball game. No matter how small the sports is, no matter how small the competition is, you see them try to bring out everything concerning the sports. We need to really do a lot in the country concerning sports. Apart from investment, if you don't invest, also make people know about it. Just like we have football, for instance. In football, we heard about Hafiz, who went to Italy to play the Virago Cup, where they won the cup, and he scored 10 goals in 6 matches. You know, the young man is barely 18 years, and much has been said about him. If there were no publicity about it, then nobody would have known about Hafiz, even when he has not gotten a professional contract. So I think our journalists and those in charge of sports need to dig deep and bring more information on what is happening in other sports apart from football and the most prominent games.
But we've always heard of issue whereby, you know, we see an athlete, you know, coming up with an impressive record, just like Franca Odo, that has been very, very, she's actually put a very huge level of, you know, dominance when it has to do with judo, especially in Nigeria and the National Sport Festival. But we've not, these are people that, you know, should be honored, you know, by, you know, the government or the sports ministry, you know, and all of that. But at the end of the day, it looks as if, you know, our sportsmen are not given that proper recognition. We hear some people do so many things for the country, and after some time, you don't hear much about them. And at the end of the day, you hear them, of course, complain of the fact that, oh, they are sick and nobody's to take care of him and all of that. So why is this so in the country?
We need to have a shift in our ways of doing things. Far back then in Singapore, when Singapore was so corrupt and things were not going their way, a certain man came in, Lee Kuan Yew, said, no, we have been doing it this way, let us do it this way. Let's see how it works. And at the end of the day, Singapore turned out to be one of the leading economies in the world. We need to shift our attention. It's a system thing. The sports ministry, the government, they need to focus more on sports. What do we do? How do we do it? Look at what other countries are doing concerning sports. If we do that, I think a lot will be achieved. We're complaining about the problem of unemployment, but we don't know as a country that sports can take out majority of the people that are on the street roaming around. We have men that can take up most of these sports. All we need is to get the facility. Then the reward system. What is the reward system that the Ministry of Sports have put in place? What is the reward system that the Nigerian Judo Federation has put in place? If so person has achieved this, this is what we are going to do. What is the reward system the government has put in place? Just like the Super Eagles that won the silver at the African Nations Cup. They came back home and they were rewarded houses, plot of land, they were given national honor. I think all other sports should follow the same. Like these men who had gone to the All-African Games, that had won bronze, won that, they should bring them home and give them national honor. Give them reward. If it is a plot of land at Abuja, Abuja is so large, there are lands waiting, give them land. They have. It is not easy for somebody or for someone to abandon all he's doing and say, let me represent my country. Let me see how I bring out the best in me by participating in sports.
Despite the hurdles.
Despite the hurdles. Despite the fact that they don't even get the remuneration. That's the kind of reward they are supposed to get. So if they are not getting it in physical cash, let us also reward them in giving them an award.
All right, much of course to talk about Franca Odo, the first judoka to win 4 bronze medals at the All African Games. A lot, of course, to ravel about her, but we have to take a short break now, and when we'll come back, of course, I'll bring you more about Franca Odo. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Telling him not to counterpunch. Telling him not to counterpunch.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
These people into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human
on the
trafficker.
point of order.
Honorable you are a human
On the point
They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Telling him not to counterpunch.
You're welcome back as the Sports Personality Show on Atlantic Television Network. And of course, today, sports personality is Franca Odo, first Nigerian judoka to win 4 bronze medals at African Games. Joining us as well on the show this morning is Miracle Onyekazi. Miracle, good morning to you and welcome to the show.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Kinsley, and good morning, Nigeria.
All right, Dr. Lechi, of course, is still here with us, and he has a lot, of course, to tell us about Franca Odo. But an impressive, one, of course, we were actually seeing from her, taking a look at her dominance at the National Sports Festival, and what, of course, she's been able to do for herself, globally. And talking about injury, despite picking up an injury in her first bout, Nigerian judoka Franca Odu feels satisfied. She felt satisfied winning bronze medal at the 2023 African Judo Open in Niamey. The multiple national champion revealed that her intention was to win a gold medal for the country with her level of fitness and preparedness. Although expresses appreciation, to family, friends, coaches, as well as teammates, for their unwavering support and encouragement. She ever spoke about the injury occurrence, which brought a huge setback on her challenge for the gold medal at the championship, adding that she went with intent of winning gold for Nigeria at the 2023 Judo African Open. On the way forward, they also said that she would treat the injury and get prepared for another championship lineup for the year. Of course, let me as well bring a miracle on this one. Injury has been a huge setback, of course, for Highest Play in her course of trying to win a gold medal for herself. What do you think? How do you think she can manage this injury situation?
Yeah, when an athlete begins to age in the sports, it always becomes difficult for that athlete to remain consistent in that particular sport. And when it comes to Franca Odu's case, she's not had it really good when it comes to having injury and setbacks in her career. We've seen over the course of her career, she's been that one athlete that Nigerians have relied on when it comes to representing the country, both in the national and the African scene. And when it comes to judo in the country, she's performed consistently, but over the course of her career, she's had it very difficult when it comes to injury. So I feel like her coaches that train with her are the ones that are supposed to know exactly what is going on behind the scenes when it comes to her physical fitness, also her mental fitness, and her ability to continue as a judoka in Nigeria. So I feel like she should be placed on some certain diets, because a man's body cannot remain, or a woman's body cannot remain the same, especially when it begins to age. And she's been in this game for over 15 years now, representing Nigeria. So I feel like that must have hampered her career, and she's had a lot to do with being knowing fully well that she's one of those athletes that Nigeria always depend on. We've not had so many athletes practicing judo in Nigeria. So that kind of reason alone is enough reason for her to have so much injuries, because she's always participating in different championships and competitions for Nigeria. So I feel like Nigeria should try to involve other athletes to represent the country, not just using only Franca Odu. Knowing fully well, in the next 3 or 4 years, she might be retiring, and there might be nobody to replace her. So I feel like we should start to groom athletes from now. She might even become a coach, an athlete coach from now, grooming other younger athletes to participate or to represent the country further. So I feel like if we can do that, it will really go a long way.
All right. Dr. Elechi, when you take a look at, the National Classic Championship, she won a gold medal in the 52 kg women category to maintain her 12 years dominance in the weight class. That's the 52 kg category. She actually won a gold in the last edition, which was the 2023 edition, talking about the National Classic, Championship. And when you take a look at that particular category, talking about the 52 kg category, we've seen a very huge level of dominance, of course, from her at the National Sports Festival. She's won about 4 gold medals, in the 52 kg category. She did that in 2009 and came back and did that and won a gold medal again in 2018, and also came back to win a gold medal again in 2020. Another gold medal for her as well in 2023 in the same category. That's the 52 kg category. And in the National Classic, she has maintained 12 years dominance in that particular category. What do you make of her progress so far and her dominance level in the 52 kg category?
Sometimes there are, in sports, it depends on our commitment, and what our body can carry. Now, at that weight category, I think she has mastered it so well that each time she is into it, she is able to win. So I believe that at that category, just like you asked earlier on, all she needed to do now, because after dominating all this while in the national sports festival, in the 52 category, she needs to just up her game a bit and also understand her body chemistry. She needs to understand her body chemistry. That is where the medical doctors comes in. And if she is able to do that, the next All African Games, forget about age, she may be able to win gold. I don't know if you understand me. Her dominance in that category has been because she was able to understand what it takes to win at that level. Just like in the under-17 football category, Nigeria is always winning the World Cup. But when it gets to the senior category, it becomes a difficult thing. So at that 52 kg category, she understands it very well. But I think she needs to up her game. She needs to add a little effort.
Especially in the global scene.
In the global scene.
All right, talking about our prowess, winning the 4 bronze medal at the All-African Games. They just concluded All-African Games. The multiple national judo champion Franca Odo in the 52 kg category as well became the first female judoka to win 3 bronze medals at 4 African Games. So you see, she actually, of course, know what to do in that particular category. Talking about the 52 kg category. All the won bronze medals for Nigeria at the 2011 All-African Games in Maputo, 2015 All-African Games in Congo, and 2019 All-African Games in Ghana, while finishing 5th position in the 2007 All-African Games in Algiers as well. And elated Afranca also told newsmen that returning to win a bronze medal for Nigeria 9 years after is a big deal for her, and she revealed that she lost her semi-final due to an injury, adding that she was motivated by cheering off her teammates from the stand. She would have actually gotten a good medal if not the same injury problem.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen that she's dominated in that particular category, the 52 kg category, and hopefully she will continue to dominate. Just like I want to use tennis as an instance. We've seen Rafael Nadal dominate in hard courts, the clay courts. He's been the master. They call him the master of clay. So when someone begins to dominate in a particular sector, a particular area, you know that that person have mastered that area very, very, very well. And we've seen Franca Odo dominates over the years in the 52 kg category, making her one of the most prominent athletes when it comes to that category. You can't call the 52 kg category without looking at Franca Odo as one of the contenders or participants to bring up those medals or rack up those medals when it comes to that category. And she's been definitely doing well in other categories as well, but not as dominant as she's been in that 52 kg category. So that is one of her major striking points, or one of her major lifts that always give her a push when it comes to judo in Nigeria or in the African scene.
Let's talk about judo in Nigeria, Dr. Lechi. Not a very popular sport in the country. Just like Miracle said, we don't have so many people participating in judo. There are few, as it stands. How will you actually paint it if you're in a position to paint, to advertise judo, in the country for people to participate or for people to go into, judo as a sport? How will you paint it? What are those things, of course, you think, should be projected about judo to make it, enticing and more popular for people, of course, to get attracted to it?
Like I said earlier on, after the introduction of judo in Nigeria in 1973, it was actually brought to Nigeria by one Mr. Alexander Ifodun back then in 1973. The judo was included into the school curriculum, secondary school curriculum, which was a very good thing. But thereafter, nothing has been done by the Nigerian Judo Federation. I think it's not just about incorporating judo into the school curriculum. It should be a competition, judo competition at all levels, from the local government level to the state level, even at the secondary school level, even from primary school. One major difference between the other countries and Nigeria is that they start from the grassroots. But we in Nigeria, we don't do that. If you check in the all-time medal table of judo in Africa, Nigeria is ranked 16th. We have never won any gold medal in judo competition, African judo competition. So, see, that is why seeing Franca dominating, having 3 bronze medals is something to even, yes. So I think the Nigerian Judo Federation and the government needs to fully incorporate judo into one of the major sports in Nigeria. It's not just something that when it is competition.
Is that really a federation already? They have a judo federation in the country?
Yes, we have a judo federation in the country. But what do we do to groom stars from the grassroots? There is no program put in place. Even if there is, the programs are on paper. Most of the problem we have in Nigeria is that most of the things we do is always on paper. It doesn't come to reality. Like I said, when I was in secondary school, far back in the early 90s to mid 90s, we used to have judo. Then they used to tell us who is the judo federation, president of the Nigerian Judo Federation, who is the president of the Nigerian Judo Federation in Nigeria. Oh, I think we had a judo club in the school. So when you do this, you are bringing the minds of the younger ones into the games. Serena Williams and Venus Williams, they started practicing tennis at a very tender age. So if we can catch them young from the schools, from the primary school, they know that there is something called judo. And it's not just telling them that there is something called judo. You also make them understand that there are people who earn money from playing or participating in judo. So if I know that if I participate in this sport, there is possibility of me having money or making an ends meet, then there will always be that tendency to participate. When fewer persons are participating, and you know that if you go in, there is high chance of you gaining from it. Just like football. Everybody is going into football because we know that Osimhen is paid. We know the amount of money that Osimhen is. We see the mansions that even players that have not gotten to Europe receive and build. There's one Kelechi also that played for Dolphins, Ego Cement, Dolphins those days. He ended up playing in Sudan. He didn't get to Europe, but he made a huge lot of money.
So the money aspect should be projected.
The money should be projected. Anything you do in life without money, there is nothing to it.
You lose some level of motivation.
Yes. The money is what is going to. So the government, in as much as we are even talking about, just talking about the money, the government should also earmark certain amount of money for it. Bring in sponsors.
Yeah.
Bring in sponsors.
But is it the work of the government to bring in sponsors or the Judo Federation?
The government works with the Judo Federation. The Judo Federation cannot work alone.
What hindered this Judo Federation? Just like you
mentioned.
Fund. It's fun. Yeah. From putting up some grassroots programs for judokas, to come practice or to come compete and get themselves, very, very much, outstanding. We'll talk about the Wrestling Federation today, which we always give Dan Igali kudos. Sometimes, he organizes championship for wrestlers.
But he doesn't do it alone.
He doesn't do it alone.
The government needs to come in because the government formulate the policies. The government will bring in the programs and everything that will make whatsoever the Judo Federation want to do work. If the government is not bringing in the policies that will make this Judo Federation to work, they cannot do anything. It's just about getting money from the government. The government must not bring money all the time. But if the right policies and the right programs are in place, whatever the Judo Federation brings into the table will work. If, for instance, we have a Minister of Sports who understand that football is not the only game in Nigeria, if ITO can sponsor football, they can also have a partnership with other companies to sponsor judo. There are companies that come to do business with them. if we have Julius Berger has been doing contract with us. Say no, come in as we are also doing contract with us. Also invest in the country. In United Arab Emirates, they understood that the country is a dry land. Nothing comes out of UAE. But they said, no, people cannot come and work in the company, in our oil sector, and go. They decided to build an empire. So if you go there, as much as you make, you also invest in the place. So we should start thinking at that direction, where people, where investors should come in, not just investing in the oil sector. They should also invest in our sports sector. In America, sports is the major employer of labor.
True, true. But Miracle, you know, it is always difficult for every investor. Every investor wants to make profits. Yeah. Everyone who has money and wants to invest it, at least at some points, will expect a return. Yeah. In the Judo Federation in Nigeria is not that popular. Of course, people do not just invest. They want to invest where maybe their product or their brand will be seen. If you invest in the video and the Judo Federation, do they have that high level of, you know, publicity or viewership? That, for instance, if I put my money or put my brand on it, people will know that, oh, this something is happening, or so probably a particular brand like this exists, you know, and all of that, because nobody talk about the Judo Federation in Nigeria that much. The Judo Federation in Nigeria is not popular like the Football Federation. It's not popular probably maybe like the Wrestling Federation or Athletic Federation. So with such kind of situation, you think people really want to invest in judo?
I think that's where the PRO that we talk about, publicity, is should come in place. We've seen some certain sports, like even the tennis. We've seen the kind of publicity Arona Quadri has been getting over the years.
Yes.
Tennis is not a large sport that a lot of people participate in. But we've seen, because of the fact that Arona Quadri have a good PR team, he's been publicized all over the country, globally, all over the world. If you call a person and ask him who is that man that always represents Nigeria when it comes to tennis, they will call the name of Arona Quadri. We've seen the kind of publicity 18-year-old Manchester United midfielder has been getting over the course of the season. Kobe Mino. He just, in fact, he's played barely less than 25 games as a Manchester United player over the course of his career. But we've seen the kind of publicity he's been getting. The English national team had to call him up. Even after he made it to the under-21 team, they had to drop him from the under-21 and call him up to the senior team because of the publicity he's been getting. So in everything you want to achieve, you need that publicity. Sometimes they say every publicity is a good publicity, whether good or bad. So I think the Judo Federation has a lot to do. They need to publicize their sports. And I feel like sometimes in Nigeria, we give political, we give employment based on the political reasons. Like the chairman of the Judo Federation now might not fully be involved in the ends of affairs when it comes to judo in Nigeria, but he's just there as the chairman. So I feel like Nigeria and the Judo Federation and Nigeria as a whole should try to publicize their events and their sports.
All right, time is up. We have to leave this. Leave, of course, to be able to do justice to the life of Franca Odo, the first judoka to win four bronze medal at the African Game. Impressive feat, of course, for Franca Odo. She has been selected, of course, to you know, come participate in the Olympic qualifiers, and we hope that, of course, she'll be able to get to the Olympics and do something great for herself. But Doctor, it's been an impressive time this morning.
Thank you very much.
Miracle, thank you very much for joining us as well.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, so we'll wrap at this point. 6 p.m. Sports Extraordinary, of course, will make a return. Stay locked on Atlantic Television Network. My name is Kingsley Madwell. Thanks for watching.